My fiancée invited me to a big celebration on her work. Then she says that it's only for workers, then is only to the top workers, and then is only for her, another female worker and her boss. I don't want her to go, but she sees nothing wrong with it. I'm basically at the point of breaking off my relationship with my fiancé because I'm so frustrated by this whole thing. I guess this question is among my last salvos to see if I'm being an asshole and unreasonable or if the problem is on her end. Been with fiancé for several years now. She recently graduated and got an amazing HR job with a pretty high profile. We get your DUI charges dropped. Type law firm. The guy who started the firm is known across as being an ambulance chaser, shyster and scammer because very frankly he's trying to portray that in his commercials. I've met him a couple of times in person. He's a little better, but I still kind of feel like I needed a shower. So right after New Year's, fiancé came home and announced that lawyer dude is taking the whole staff out to celebrate on January 20th because it was the firm's biggest year ever. This is the timeline as near I can remember. January 5th, she tells me to keep January 20th open because SOs are invited. Cool, I can do that. January 8th. Sorry she was mistaken. It's just a work party. She tells me it's cool if I make other plans that night. No problem. January 13th. She lets it slip. It's not really a party for the whole office, just for the people boss thinks we're part of the success. I'm starting to get a little what the F here. January 14th. Miraculously, all the people going to dinner with the boss are under the age of 30 and female. Now alarm bells are really going off. January 18th. The list is down to 2 people, my fiancé and another new attorney. So, if I'm hearing this correctly, the 2 people mainly responsible for this 20-year-old company's biggest year ever are both recent college grads, both female and both around 25. Fiancé says, "Aren't you proud of me?" Today, the big day, boss texts her at like 11 a.m. and says, "Hey, since this is supposed to be a celebration, don't drive. I'll send a car service for you." Fiancé still doesn't smell anything fishy, so I ask her just for my own edification, to her to write to her boss. That's a great offer. But my fiancé knows the restaurant and he can drive me. Boss replies back in seconds, "Sorry, I had to change restaurants at the last minute. I'll send the car." My fiancé looks at me, apparently without the screeching submarine klaxon and Klieg lights that are going off in my head, and says, "See, it's all cool. I'll just take the car service." I'm freaking the F out. I told her that she can't go. She called me a controlling asshole. I told her that this whole thing has been shady as F, and I relayed out the timeline I just posted above using my texts and emails from her as evidence. She said that me hoarding evidence like this is an example of how I'm a controlling asshole, and she wants to go to the dinner now more than ever. I told her I might be an asshole, but I'm not stupid. She told me over and over again he's married. He can't do anything that would affect his marriage. So you're being the stupid one. That leads me to believe that even she understands the larger implications that are at play here. She locked herself in our bedroom and hasn't come out for at least an hour. I don't know what to do. I can't beat the door down or yell at her, and I think if this is one of those situations where the shoe was on the other foot, she'd be freaking the F out, and I'd see her reaction and just call it off. Best comments. You are not the asshole for being weirded out and concerned for your fiancé's safety. Guy sounds like a sleazeball. However, you are the asshole for saying she can't go. That's controlling behavior, and she's a grown woman. You don't have the right to tell her what she can and cannot do. Don't blame you for being nervous, but there was a much better way to approach this. I say let her learn from her own mistakes. She's either extremely naive and needs this wake-up call, or she knows exactly what this 3-way date is and is planning on walking away or not. She can certainly go on the dinner date. And he can certainly change the locks on the doors to his apartment. If her argument is that he's married, he can't do anything, then she's obviously delusional. If the situation went from an open work party to a party with the boss and 2 young women, something's wrong here. Try asking your friends and her friends if this whole thing is suspicious and tell her that together. This whole thing is shadier than a tree on a hot summer day. You absolutely can tell a grown woman what she can and cannot do. That's exactly what monogamy is. You can't sleep with other people. We place all sorts of restrictions on our partners. Update number 1. It's 5:30 here. Car service picked her up at 5:15. I guess it's up to fate now if I'm a controlling asshole or if she didn't see it, whatever is coming. Update number 2. She just got home and said only, I don't want to effing talk about it. And she's back talking to who I assume is her sister. I'm defying my every desire to eavesdrop, so I don't know what happened. It's only 8:45, so I don't think anything super crazy happened. I'm just glad she's home. If it's appropriate, I'll update again when I know more. Update number 3. She just told me what happened at her dinner. She gets to dinner, and it's just she, co-worker and boss in a private dining room at hotel. Boss says straight up he's banging the other girl and wants Fiancée to join them. He says he has understanding with his wife and says he can do amazing things for Fiancée. Fiancée is pissed. She didn't see this coming, but she's still pissed at me for being controlling. She's not happy at all and talking about breaking up. Sucks all around, but I'm relieved she's safe. Just giving her some space for a while. Best comments. Your fiancée seems like she's just now realizing that the great job she thought she was doing was just her boss getting her in a position where he could F her. This is a really shitty feeling. She thought she was doing amazing at her job, and now she has to deal with the fact that not only was it a lie, but that it took her by surprise. And part of her brain is whispering that you don't think she could possibly be smart/talented enough for any of this to happen. Be gentle with her. It's a pretty soul-sucking experience to find out someone you thought genuinely valued you was only around to use you. Why would she contemplate breaking up after the fact? What reason could she have for that? So, every time something like this doesn't go her way, breaking up is the first answer? Someone's thought process when they are angry is very indicative of the type of person they are. One thing is to think about something, but other is they can't control what they say. She contemplates breaking up because that's her nuclear bomb in arguments. She uses it whenever it seems like things aren't going to go her way. So, her use of it this time doesn't surprise me. But usually she says it, lets it simmer for maybe 10 minutes and apologizes. This time she's been locked in our room since last night and hasn't so much as come out to even get water, let alone talk to me. So, I have no idea what is going on. I guess her personal and professional pride was hurt as a big part of it, but she is not speaking to me, so I don't really know what she's thinking. I don't think I want to break up with her, but those seriously crossed my mind in the lead up to yesterday, because the truth was so glaringly obvious and her steadfast denial of it made me question a lot of things. Update number 4, 2 days after the first post. She didn't speak to me all day Monday, and the last words I heard from her were Sunday night after she got home as she slammed the door to our bedroom saying, "You're still a controlling asshole, and we're breaking up." Her nuclear bomb is always saying, "We're breaking up," whenever she doesn't have the upper hand in an argument, so I didn't make much of it, and in reality, I was just relieved that she was home and apparently nothing bad happened at the dinner. So, like I said, Monday she didn't say a word to me. I was only able to get into our bedroom to get some clothes, and I couched it again Monday night. Whatever, she was pissed, she was embarrassed that she didn't see it coming, she was angry at me. I figured I'd give her some space. So I did. Tuesday morning, I noticed she was getting ready for work. I couldn't keep my mouth shut anymore, and I incredulously asked her if she was really going back to that effing job. She said, "Why wouldn't I?" I told her because the effing owner of the company had done a month-long manipulation to get her into a threesome with his other little side piece. She said that I was an effing idiot. I was effing flabbergasted. As she was stomping around the house putting her shoes on, putting on her makeup and whatnot, I told her that if she shows up to that office today and doesn't quit or follow up with the state bar, he is going to know that she's okay with what happened, at least on the surface. Even if she doesn't have sex with him, he knows that she has a really high tolerance for his bullshit, and he's going to keep working at her. I also told her that she has an MBA with a focus in HR. It shouldn't take a effing redneck auto mechanic to tell her this shit. I own a foreign specialty auto repair facility with my uncle. Her last words to me were, "Yes, effing asshole, I am the professional. You aren't," and slammed the door. So, Tuesday I had no idea what I was going to do. I knew in my heart I needed to end the relationship, her situation with her boss notwithstanding. Rather, her method of fighting, name-calling, silent treatment is just not acceptable. But I still wasn't sure. She got home Tuesday and was clearly rattled by something. She was still silent, but a sad silent, not an angry silent, if that makes sense. She absolutely would not tell me what was wrong, but she didn't lock herself in the room this time. She just sat almost catatonic on the couch watching Big Bang Theory, which she hates. My assumption, she F him, her, or both. She gave in to him. I have no proof of this, but after all the bullshit, after the quick change in her behavior, it's the only thing I can think happened. In my head and heart, we are broken up. It's now just a matter of separating our shit, figure out what to do about the lease on our apartment, canceling the small amount of wedding planning we have done, and, oh yeah, telling her. She may be feeling the same way and be done with me too, which honestly may make this easier for everyone. My heart goes out to her because I do care about her, and if she did have sex with her boss under his bullshit pretense, I imagine she feels like shit. But I tried to warn her. I saw it coming from a mile away. No, I didn't use the correct words in trying to warn her, and I take no pleasure in being right, but I did try. Thanks everyone. Best comments. My take on this is she was so focused on the issue between her and OP. When she walked back into work, the real scenario hit her like a dead weight. I don't think she cheated. I agree her self-worth got hammered, and now she is crashing. That said, I have a zero-tolerance policy on intentional silent treatment as someone who had this joyous punishment by an ex. Doesn't matter if she did or did not cheat. The relationship is already way below the waterline. Thank you for this. I think it's just a reasonable assumption as mine. One thing that does lead me to believe that what you're saying may be true is how all the other women in the office under 30 dropped out of the dinner as it got closer. I state this in my original post. I didn't make much of it until your post just now. She and the other young attorney were the only ones that showed up, so it may be very true that she faced from seriously harsh judgment from the other women in the office. Office is 80 to 90% women, around 20 total employees. Update number 5. It's 3:31 p.m. She's home about 2.5 hours early. She said she wants to take a shower and talk after she's done. I really don't want to do another update, but I will update via edit here after we talk. Update number 6. It's now about 5:30. This is locked, so I don't know if an edit gets seen or not. Figure I'll try since people seem invested in it. So for the update. She got home at 3:30. Was still very pissy and told me not to ask her any questions until she got out of the shower and said she wanted to talk then. She usually gets home at 6 p.m. on the dot, so I knew something was up. I said that was fine, but like literally on pins and needles until she came back out to our computer room where I was working. So about 4:15 she comes out with a towel wrapped around her hair and just one around her waist. In my head I figure if she was really breaking up with me, she wouldn't let me see her. It wasn't a sexual gesture by any stretch. I took that as a good sign because I wasn't sure about breaking up with her, and at least we had options. So first of all, as nutty as I made her deservedly sound, she has never had compunctions about apologizing when she's wrong. So, she said that she wanted to say that she was very sorry for all the things that she had said to me starting on Sunday. She was sorry for throwing her shoe at me. She was sorry for the silent treatment, and she was sorry for doubting my judgment. I told her that I appreciated it. She told me that she quit her job yesterday. I told her that I very much agreed with that. She said that yesterday she went into the office and the boss/owner was waiting for her in her office. This is important to mention. The law firm is an old converted historic house close to downtown. Most of the staff work in what used to be the main house. My fiancé's office was literally the outdoor shed/garage. It's a very nice and comfortable conversion, but it's still separated from the main house. So, him sitting in her office means he had to go out in the backyard, find a key he doesn't usually have, unlock her space and wait for her. He told her that he wanted to make sure there were no misunderstandings from the night prior and to make sure that all the doors weren't shut or some such nonsense. She told me she told him that she was deeply upset by his proposal and didn't know what she was going to do. I guess he told her that her value in the company could either go up or down depending on how she decided to proceed. She said that she walked out on the spot and didn't go back to work. She spent the rest of the day with her sister trying to figure out what she was going to do. That was yesterday, and I guess she still doesn't know. I guess she spent all day today looking for other jobs and sitting in her employment office of her MBA office and talking with her advisor. I asked her why she just didn't tell me any of this yesterday and why scream at me. She said she was sorry again, but she was a little shell-shocked that she faced serious sexual harassment in her first job out of the gate and honestly didn't even know what she wanted to say to me. I told her that the silent treatment really hurt and it allowed my imagination to run wild. I didn't tell her what I said here. She again said she was sorry and the way she acted throughout the entire event wasn't fair. I told her that I really do love her, but I hadn't slept in 2 nights. I am exhausted and hurt and don't know what to do. So I'm going to go stay at my uncle's house for at least a few nights, to sleep if nothing else. She said that was fine, and she'd wait as long as I wanted her to. I told her that I think we need some sort of counseling so we learn how to better talk with each other, and she agreed. So, after that I packed up a bag, and I am now at my uncle's house. She did give me a hug and kiss on my way out the door, which was pretty nice, but right now I need some sleep. What I do know: 1. I want to stay with her. 2. I need to never use words like, you can't go, ever again. 3. I really do love her. 4. We are fine for money without her working. I am co-owner of an auto repair business with my uncle, and we have had a great few years. What I don't know, and I didn't ask, yet at least: 1. What is she going to do about her boss? 2. How this affects her future employment. 3. That she will realize we are fine without her working and she takes her time and finds a good job with a good boss. I'm sure there's a million other things I'm forgetting or questions I'm not answering. I think the mods are sick of this thread, so it's locked. I'm newish to Reddit, so I don't know if you can see this, if you can respond. If it's dead, just don't know. But thanks for the help.